What's up everyone, I'm Josh Merhar, and here are 5 ways to use a metronome beyond just having a quarter note click. If you like what you see in this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and consider supporting me on Patreon. Your support on Patreon will give you access to all kinds of additional content that accompanies these videos. When working with a metronome, it's really important to know that a metronome is a tool. We want to use a metronome to help us develop a better sense of larger spaces in time. Practicing with a metronome set to an 8th note or a 16th note or triplet is really helpful for working in those particular subdivisions and is absolutely something that you should practice, but at higher speeds it can be kind of constricting. You'll naturally start playing along to whatever subdivision is given to you, and that could result in like a little bit of rigidity when you're playing. I really think better timing comes down to muscle memory, and by practicing with a metronome, especially one that's set to larger subdivisions or larger pulses, we start developing a better sense of what solid time feels like. If you have a very strong sense of where beat 1 is, everything that kind of happens between each beat doesn't matter so much, as long as you could resolve it with confidence. So the first thing we're going to do is kind of turn the metronome to a half note pulse. At first we're going to have it land on just counts 2 and 4, and then we're going to have the metronome land on just counts 1 and 3. Next, we are going to have the metronome play only the upbeats, the and of each beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And we could also have the click seemingly displaced to a 16th note. So what if we wanted the metronome to land on just the perceived E of every beat? 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and, or the perceived of every beat. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and. And especially having these displaced clicks, it's really going to change the way you hear rhythms, and you're going to start coming up with different ideas based around the different emphasis that you're hearing in each beat. We could also kind of displace grooves relative to a click. So what if we take a straight ahead 8th note groove, but kind of play it as triplets relative to the metronome? You'll hear exactly what that sounds like in a second, But basically, if I'm kind of playing a groove that's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I'm going to take what is originally my eighth note and think of it more as an eighth note triplet. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and So now it kind of takes 3 backbeats for the whole cycle to resolve on beat 1. We could also put a metronome to really slow clicks. I mean like quarter note equals 45, and then just start messing around with subdivisions. So I'll start with a 6/8 kind of feel, and then it'll gradually morph into a sort of 16th note type feel. A lot of metronome apps and programs nowadays have something known as the rhythm trainer function. In essence, you could have the metronome play for a certain number of measures or beats, and then be silent for a certain number of measures. So in this example, I'll have the metronome play for 3 measures, and then on the 4th measure, it's going to go silent. This is a really good way to test your internal clock. If you could land square on beat 1 after that blank measure without speeding up or slowing down when the metronome drops out, you're going to really start developing a better sense of time. So again, the big thing here is we want to have a better sense of the downbeat, beat 1. A really strong sense of the downbeat is going to allow you so much more flexibility with phrasing and subdividing in the middle of each measure. The more you practice with the metronome, especially with these kind of larger and more irregular pulses, the stronger your timing is going to get. You're going to really start to know what good timing feels like. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and consider supporting me on Patreon to get even more content that goes along with this stuff. As always, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.